So Food Dreams Foundation is a non-profit. It's a foundation that my father, my brother, and we decided to launch about 2.5 years ago now. And the way we started was pretty funny, actually. We were driving a car, my dad and I dropped a coin on the floor, and I said, where should I put that? And then he said, put it to the Jean-Georges Foundation. That's his first name. And then a week later, I asked to meet with him and to see him. And over breakfast, I had a business plan ready about foundation, because when he told me that we should put the money to the Jean-Georges Foundation, I thought, this is a great idea. There's so many young people all over the world that need help, financial help, to go to school. So we decided to launch it together as a family project. So our idea and our mission is to help unprivileged students from all over the world. We also partner with the UNICEF here in the USA, so we can help refugees as well to go to school. And then we created a postgraduate program where all the students graduating will get into a 1-year program, and they will be working through the different restaurants that my family and I own in New York City. So they get knowledge about food. They can really know if they like more fine dining, fast casual, farm to table, really different type of cuisine and different type of experiences. And then we guarantee them a job within the company. So it's been really good to do that as a family, because all of us love food. We have that background, we have that passion, and it's great to see that you can help students in need. So it's been a great journey so far. Well, I love everything about eggs. So eggs is my number one food to go, especially in the morning. So I like I like to call it messy egg, because it's not scrambled, it's not sunny side up, it's just like eggs all over, and then I just mix a lot of things in there. Mushroom, I love vegetables, some cheese on top, some ground beef, and it really holds me for a good part of the day, because it's very, there's a lot of nutrients in there. So I love that. And then I try to balance it with some healthy, with some avocado. I'm obsessed with avocado, so not necessarily avocado toast, but
avocado is so good.
It's so good together. So I always have avocado at home, and I try to slice it, just some olive oil, salt as a side from my eggs, and a little piece of bread and freshly squeezed orange juice, and I'm good to go.
Perfect.
So I am obsessed with Japanese food. So, and especially since I went to Japan for my first time last year with my husband, and we totally fell in love with the country, and most specifically with the food. So we love sushi and raw fish, and because I was also pregnant for the past 9 months, and I couldn't eat any raw fish, so then now that the baby is 6 months, I'm just like every day going into Japanese food. Another thing that I love about Japanese food is their meat and the wagyu. I'm a big beef lover, so we love that as well. I think one thing that made me change a little bit in terms of what I knew I wanted to do in my life, and I wanted to be in the food business, was one time I came to visit my dad in New York, and I was living in France at the time, and I would be working as a hostess in the restaurant. It was kind of like a summer job, although I was only 8 years old.
This is so nice.
And he will always bring me back in the kitchen to try food there with the chef, and I remember I was not really exposed to spices because I grew up in France, and in France we don't have too much spice. It's like salt, pepper, and a lot of butter. But it made me try a lot of different flavors, spices from India, from different part of Asia, because he loves also Asian cuisine. And I really developed that love for other flavors. And I think I remember that specific time where I saw all the chefs around, and my dad and myself, and he was spoon feeding me literally in the kitchen. And I just love that whole happiness around food. And it really changed my way of seeing things, and especially of seeing food. And I knew at that moment I really wanted to work in the food business. I think I would love to know, since we launched the foundation, I would love to have one of the students that we worked with, that we helped. It would be interesting to know how we impacted their life, and hopefully in a good way.
Yeah, I'm sure in a good way.
And I would love to see how and emotionally how they feel.
Yeah.
After going to school, after graduation and finding a job. I would be very curious to read how they emotionally feel about their journey. So I would say I would pick one of the scholars that we helped, or one of the students we helped. So my baby Miran was born about 6.5 months ago, and I'm sure all the moms will say that about their kids, but for me, that changed my life, and in the most beautiful way. And spending time just like in the morning when he wakes up and he has the most beautiful smile, he's waiting for me, of my husband, to pick him up, and we usually grab him in our bed and we play with him.
Yes.
This is pure happiness and heaven for us.